room and not quarantined, is that you must avoid getting yourself in what we call an onside kick game, where because of time score situation, the only way you can get back in the game is by successfully recovering an onside kick. And that was the belief before the NFL changed the rules and made onside kicks almost impossible to recover. Think back to the most famous comeback, arguably in NFL history, Falcons-Patriots in the Super Bowl. One of the reasons that many of us feel like the Falcons butchered that so badly was they had many opportunities to force the Patriots into an onside kick game, and their play calling went the other way to where the Patriots could just essentially run their normal offense and not have to get into an onside kick game. If you remove the onside kick entirely, the butterfly effects are enormous, Wilds. If you're watching the game and your team has the ball with 6 minutes left, down 17, you're thinking, well, we probably won't win, but we score here, get the conversion, we could score again, convert it again, because you would be allowed to do this twice, and we could win the game without our defense ever having to take the field. Wilds, I also wonder, people say it'll be good for high-powered offenses. I wonder if it could be used against high-powered offenses. Say you're playing my Kansas City Chiefs, and you're down 7 with 4 minutes left, and you score a touchdown, right? You score a touchdown to tie the game. Would you consider going for it, saying, well, if we get it, we'll keep the ball, and if we don't get it, they'll have such a short field, at least we'll get the ball back? I think there will be a lot of potential ripple effects from this. I love the idea of it, Wilds. I don't know why anyone would vote against it.
I'll go even a crazy step further that we'll eventually see. Uh-oh, we're playing the Chiefs. We're probably going to lose. Let's try to keep them literally off the field. You could theoretically score 2-point conversion, 4th and 15, again and again. You could keep the offense off the field until it's 24-0, theoretically. And, Coach, I want to give some numbers to you. If I saw this rule and I worked at the Sloan Sports Conference, I would start cranking them right now. But just for some stats, and I'm going to pull a Kornheiser here, put my glasses on. 4th and 15 last year, 28.6%. Small sample size, 2 for 7. Previous year, 3 for 7, 43%. Then they go 0 for 6. The 2016, 2 for 6, 33%. Compare that to onside kick success, which in the last 5 seasons is about 13%. So it feels like 4th and 15 is much more advantageous, would happen much more often. As a coach, how would you plan for this?
Well, there's a couple things here. So the NFL does have the benefit of seeing how this worked with the XFL, and this will probably be the legacy of the XFL if it gets passed. And I understand the player safety component of this as well. But as you guys talk about keeping the Chiefs off the field, and look, let's not put the Chiefs in the, unstoppable offense category for years and years to come. Like, I get it. They played really well this year, but we're fast forwarding a little too much here. But we'll get back to that too. But if you wanted to keep a team off the field, typically a surprise onside kick hits a lot at a much higher rate than an onside kick that people know is coming. So you would actually have an edge on a surprise onside kick if you're trying to keep a team off the field than you would, a 4th and 15 or a regular onside kick. Here's what I don't like about it. Football is a effective all 3 phases of the game, and this again takes something away from special teams. And it to me, to have to be able to perform in all 3 phases of the game is as important to the integrity of the game as anything. Do I think this is the way it's going? Yeah. Do I love it? No.
All right, well, Nick is right. It can also help defenses. But for the most part, if you just look at this on its surface, this is a proposed rule that would benefit the high-powered offense. And we're not talking the Chiefs down the road. We're talking the Chiefs next year. They are a very high-powered offense. In fact, nobody happier about this than Patrick Mahomes, tweeting 4th and 15 with a pair of cold sweat emojis, putting the league on notice. Nick, how much do you think this would actually affect the Kansas City Chiefs?
First of all, Jenna Wolf elucidating what that emoji means. No sarcasm here. I've never known that was a cold sweat emoji. I've always wondered, why is the guy's head?
I thought it's
that
obvious.
makes total sense. Great job by you, Jenna. I had no idea. I now understand what that emoji means.
Anytime
know
I
think
can
I'm
help
being
you get
sarcastic.
smarter, Nick,
I swear
call
to
me.
God, I didn't know that was a cold sweat emoji. All right, now, I understand Coach
Breakthrough.
thinks we're fast-forwarding too much with the Chiefs and the offense. Can we hit rewind instead? How about the year before they won the Super Bowl when they were the third highest scoring offense in the history of football and Patrick Mahomes had 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns? I mean, it just kind of does seem like they're, one of the all-time greatest offenses with one of the all-time greatest quarterbacks, but what do I know? The reason Patrick Mahomes is so excited about this is because last year, 16 times he dropped back to pass on 3rd and 15 or 4th and 15 or longer. He was 12 of 16 with 3 touchdowns on a 156.3 passer rating. In other words, Patrick Mahomes is better at 3rd or 4th and super long than any other quarterback in the league is at anything. So that's why he's excited about this. But I do think this could be used against the Chiefs defense to try to keep the Chiefs offense off the field, Wilds. And so I don't think it is necessarily only great for the offenses, but I do think that it obviously, to Coach's point, and I understand we talk about head coach Eric Mangini, but prior to being head coach Eric Mangini, he was defensive coordinator Eric Mangini, and I understand why defensive coordinators, and I'll kick it to you, Coach, would see this and say, another thing where you are tilting the scales in favor of the offenses. I love it, but I understand why on the defensive side of the ball, it might seem like you're further weighing the scales.
I don't know if it's totally slanting it towards the offense. 4th and 15 is not an easy conversion, and it shouldn't be an easy conversion. And the numbers reflect that. Now, Kansas City had an abnormally high success rate in that situation. And as people go and vote for this proposal, hopefully they're voting for it based on safety, first and foremost, and then based on how much they think it'll add to the excitement of the game. I do think it takes away from the idea of all 3 phases having to work together. Does it skew offensively? Yeah, it does in the sense that typically if an offense has gone down and scored, they've got momentum and the defense is reeling to some degree. So then they have to come back out and make another stop. It does put you in a difficult position. That being said, it's not an easy conversion to complete. So I see both sides of it.
Wilds, just quickly before we go, a few points and then something I know you're going to like. One is